You learned how to navigate the Linux file system and see what's already there. Now we're going to start making changes, creating your own files and directories. Up until now, you've just been exploring what exists, but now you're actually going to start building things. You'll create the directory structure for projects, make configuration files, set up log files, and organize your work. These are skills that are fundamental to almost every IT role. Sysadmins create directories for new applications and services. Developers set up project structures, and security analysts create directories for investigation evidence. And DevOps engineers build deployment folder structures. Even everyday users need to organize their files and documents. So our three primary commands for this lesson are touch for creating empty files, mkdir, mkdir for creating directories, and echo for creating files with content. The touch command is the simplest way to create a new empty file. Touch space myfile.txt, that's it. If myfile.txt doesn't exist, it's created as an empty file with 0 bytes. If you run ls-l afterward, you'll see your new file. Now in Windows, you might right-click in File Explorer, select New Text Document, or in PowerShell, you'd use new-item myfile.txt. The Linux touch command is faster and more scriptable. Now, if you run touch on a file that already exists, it doesn't delete or change the contents. Instead, it updates the file's timestamp, specifically the access and modification times. So touch existing file.txt already exists with content. The content stays intact. It's not overwriting it. Only the timestamp changes to the current time. This dual behavior is actually why the command is called touch, because you're touching the file, which updates when it was last accessed or touched. Similar to how picking up a physical document would change its last handled time just by picking it up. Now you can create several files with a single command. You can type touch file1.txt space file2.txt space file3.txt, and you will have created 3 text files. Or you can do it using brace expansion for numbered files. If you just type touch space log, the curly brace 1.5 curly brace.txt, that will actually create 5 files that start with log and then the number .txt. So it creates log 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all at once. That's a nifty shortcut to use. So let's say you're setting up a project structure. You're a developer starting a new project and you need to create placeholder files. You could type touch readme.md, they are markdown file, then license.getignore. Now you have empty files ready to fill in with content. Another scenario, creating log files before starting an application. Some applications expect their log files to already exist before starting. So before you start the application, you would type touch var log myapp application.log, touch var log myapp error.log. Another scenario, updating timestamps for backup systems. Some backup systems only copy files modified after a certain date. So if you need to force a file to be included in the next backup, you might do touch important config.conf. Now the file's modification time is just now, so it will be picked up because just by doing what typically in Windows would do an overwrite, all you're doing in Linux here is you're just updating the last modified date. So now then the backup script's going to catch that this is one of the recent files to pull in. And another scenario, creating marker files. Sysadmins often use empty files as markers or flags. So in this example, scripts can check if this file exists to know the system is in maintenance mode. When maintenance is done, you just delete that file. Now the mkdir, mkdir command creates directories, and the name stands for make directory. So if you just type mkdir space projects, then you're creating that folder, that directory projects, and you're creating it in your current location. So then you can cd projects to enter it. Get inside that folder that you've just created. So if we compare it to Windows, that's similar to right-clicking and selecting New Folder in File Explorer, or using mkdir in Command Prompt or PowerShell. And Windows actually borrowed the mkdir command from Unix and Linux. Now you can also specify exactly where to create a directory by putting the path that you want it right after the mkdir command. Now let's say you wanted to create a directory projects, web apps, source or src components, and you get an error when you try that. The problem is that mkdir by default only creates one directory level. If projects doesn't exist, it can't create web app inside of it. The solution is to use mkdir-p. The p flag tells mkdir to create parent directories as needed. So now if you typed mkdir space dash p and then projects / web apps / src / components. It's now going to create that entire path. If any of these directories already exist, it doesn't complain, it just creates what's missing. The P flag is so useful that many professionals use it by default, even when they're only creating a single directory, because it never hurts, but it prevents errors if they're trying to do more. So it's a good idea for you to get in the habit of using makedir-p because it's more robust and it will handle those edge cases gracefully. And just like with touch, you can create multiple directories at once. You can do makedir, dir1, dir2, dir3, all with spaces between them, so that you're creating those 3 folders all at once, those 3 directories all at once. Or you can combine that with the P flag to create multiple nested structures, as you can see in this example. This example creates project with 4 directories inside of it. The curly braces with commas is called brace expansion, and it's a shell feature that expands into multiple arguments. Let's think of a few scenarios here. Let's say as a developer, you're starting a new Python project and you want to start up a standard project structure. If you look at this example code, in seconds, you'll have a complete project skeleton. Another scenario, creating log directories for a new service. You might be a sysadmin and deploying a new application. You look at this example, these directories are ready then for the application's logs, data, and configuration, all set. Alternatively, you might be organizing investigation evidence. As a security analyst, you're starting an incident investigation, and you run this example and you have a structured place to collect and order your evidence. Or for creating backup destinations. Before running a backup script, you could use this example code, creating a backup directory named with today's date dynamically, including any parent directories needed. Now, so far we've gone over creating empty files with touch, but what if you want to create a file that actually contains something? And as we mentioned before, echo for content. The echo command prints text to the screen. You see the hello world example, and by itself that's not useful for creating files, but when we combine it with output redirection, it becomes powerful. So the greater than symbol redirects output from the screen into a file. If you type echo and then your hello world text in quotes, the greater than symbol, and then greeting.txt, instead of printing to the screen, hello world is then written into greeting.txt. So if the file doesn't exist, it's created. If it does exist, in this case, its contents are replaced. So this does overwrite the file completely. Whatever was there before is now gone. There's also appending with a double greater than symbol. If you want to add a file without erasing what's already there, use the double greater thans 2 in a row instead. If you look at the example, you see the file now contains all 3 lines. The first command with the single greater than symbol created the file. The subsequent commands with the double greater than sign appended to it. So single greater than is destructive. It creates or overwrites. Double greater than creates or appends. So it's safe for existing content because it will just add to the existing content and not delete what's already there. For simple multi-line files, you can use multiple echo commands with the double greater than signs. But there's also a cleaner way using echo with the E flag with new line characters. If you look at the example here, the E flag enables interpretation of escape characters like the \n for new line. Let's say you're creating a quick config file. You need to create a simple one. You just use code like this. Perhaps you need to add a new host entry without opening an editor, just adding a line to an existing configuration. And this would be your example right here. Notice the double greater than symbol. This will append the new entry to the existing host file. Or maybe you just need a quick script on the fly. See this code here. We're creating with the single greater than and appending with those double greater than lines. Maybe you want to create a simple log entry. Notice the code here, the $, open parentheses, date, close parentheses part, inserts the current date and time. Or let's say during testing, you might create files that identify themselves. Placeholder files with identifiable content. You can do like as on the screen when you view these files later, you know exactly which is which. Let's think about how these commands work together. Got an example code here on the screen for a new web project setup. You see it starts with the makedir, the P flag, then we're using the brace expansion. Then we're using touch to create the initial files. Then we're using echo for the content. Then we're creating a README, where we're creating a file, but then we're appending to it with the double greater than signs. The next code example we'll take a look at is a system administrator deploying an application. You see making directories with the P flag, using the brace expansion, using touch, create these empty log files, and then creating the initial configuration, the contents, and then the appending happening again. The next code example to look at here, your security analyst starting an investigation. So creating case directory structure. You've got the dynamic current date in there as you're making the directory. You're using the brace expansion again so that you can create that full set. Creating the initial case notes with echo, the initial one, and then appending. And then you're creating a timeline file with touch and date here again. So it's all following the same patterns, but enabling the ability to do a lot of important things, a lot of very helpful things in an extremely quick fashion. You're not having to write a complex PowerShell script to automate these things. And you're not having to right click new folder, new folder, new folder, new folder, etc. And you're not having to create the whole structure for the first time so you can use it as template to recreate. Because again, the first time is made a lot quicker as well. So we want to think of a few things that are important. Permissions are really important. They matter. You can only create files and directories where you have right permission. So if you're a regular user and you try to create something in Etsy or var, that's not going to work out. You'll get permission denied. You'll need sudo administrator privileges to write to system directories. So in the labs here in the Udemy labs, can't use sudo. Also, be careful with the greater than symbol, because remember that the single greater than symbol is a complete overwrite and it's destructive. So that can be one of the most common painful mistakes, accidentally overwriting important files. Always double check. If you're ever in doubt, use the double greater than symbol to append. And think about file naming best practices, because Linux allows almost any character in file names. But that doesn't mean you should use any character in file names. You should avoid using spaces. You need to use underscores or hyphens. It'll just prevent other things from breaking or you having issues later where you're having to put in the quotes or the backslash and so on. And avoid putting special characters into your file names as well. Use lowercase for consistency. Linux is case sensitive. And always use meaningful descriptive names. And the current directory really matters. When you run touch, myfile.txt, just the space between it, no forward slashes anywhere in here, it creates the file in your current working directory. So always be aware of where you are. Always type pwd, find out where you are, print the working directory before creating files.